Coming straight out of Ecamm. This is a jam with the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam, this the name of the jam. This is a jam with the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam, this the name of the jam. This is a jam with the Ecamm fam. This is a jam with the Ecamm fam. This is a jam with the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam, this the name of the jam.
Hold it, stop the music!
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Can I please have your attention?
Now showtime. Are you ready? Are you ready for start time?
Let's find out. Ready, let's go.
Yo, what it do, people? What it do? Welcome to the Ecamm live demo. Sorry for being a little late. Today, I am the entire Ecamm marketing team. Katie is on vacay, and Caleb is doing something else for the beginning of the morning. So you get stuck with me, and I had to finish this meeting, but it's dope. You guys are going to love what that meeting is about when I'm able to bring it to you. It's a secret, but you will know soon. So watch all the channels because you'll know what's popping. It's coming. It's going to be dope. You guys are going to love it. So let me see. I haven't done this in a week. Let's see how well it pops back in. Well, actually, I haven't done the demo in 2 weeks because I unfortunately did it last week. Thank you guys for handling that business for me while I was away in the old Diegos of Sands. It was absolutely fantastic. Had a good time. This is Ecamm Live, what it looks like, except for today, I have deleted all the windows because some people like to use the O word that I hate so much. I'm not going to say it. Paul can say it for me if he wishes. Yeah, I don't use those words. I believe when you tell yourself these things, then you start to believe them. So some people say when you see all the windows, it sort of freaks them out and they don't know what to do. Well, it's just like a car. You need three things: gas, brake, and the steering wheel. Everything else you can kind of ignore. When you figure them out, they work for you. If you don't figure them out, then you'll be like half the drivers in Honolulu. But all you really need to know is gas, brake, and steering wheel. So this is the master window. And if all you want to do is come in and record a video with a couple of different looks, right? I'm going to have this particular look right now, which is me in this little window in the background. And then maybe I have another one of these look with a title on it. And then maybe I have another one of these looks where I'm going to show you something in an application like Chrome or like Keynote or whatever other applications in your Mac. You can do that. And you can close all the rest of the windows and you never have to look at them again. Okay. So this is what the best way to start out if you're one of those people who freaks out easy. Sorry, watch some scary movies. Toughen it up. I'm joking. All right, let's go. All right, I'm going to open up. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. It's been a minute. I see a whole bunch of y'all down in there, but I haven't seen Jeff in forever, so I got to say hi to Jeff. I'm going to open up the scenes window real quick because this is sort of what it looks like. You guys saw my intro scene. And then here is the host scene, and now I'm here. So that's all you really need. Just for my own sanity, I will open up the sound levels windows because it helps me see when I do things like accidentally mute myself. See, I did it on purpose that time. But this just so I can visual. And normally you don't need the comments window if you want to ignore Paul, but I kind of need Paul today, so I'll leave it back open. Klaas, wie geht, Hammer, wie geht? Okay, so this is where we generate our scenes. Down here on the bottom, we have a couple of options. New empty scene, duplicate the current scene. The button I use probably more than any other in Ecamm. Make a new group, make a new automatic group. So basically groups mean I can generate scenes that change on the fly, or I want to have a bunch of scenes that work in a particular theme. Now, what people used to do with groups, I just want to highlight this real quick, is people used to put like 4 or 5 different shows in different group folders, and then they would just open and close that group folders when they were going to do a different show. So for instance, imagine Anna and Fulgen's doing building block in a folder that has all the building block scenes, and then they would close that one and open another one that was like, the Anna and Fulgen show, which is their comedy routine that they do on Thursday nights, and then they can close that. We fixed that, okay? You no longer have to do that. It's been a while, but some people forget. I've definitely coached people that have like 300 scenes, and what the heck are you doing? Don't do that anymore. Let me show you how this works. Here's my situation. I like to explain it this way. Profiles are like houses, okay? So if I come over here, hey, why is my Zoom not working? No, Zoom, dang it. There we go. Let me pop back out. These profiles, these are like those different shows I was talking about. As you can see, I have a bunch. I have my affiliate show. I have my Amazon Live show, the Ecamm Demo. Hi. Ecamm Masterclass, my Final Cut Pro Global Summit, IG Live, my standard LGO stream, LinkedIn stuff, things where I'm testing things, setting up for a podcast to flow, and where I do my tutorials. Like what I name my one when I do my tutorials, that is named specifically for you guys. Okay. So think of those as my houses, right? So I am a real estate investor type. I have all of these houses. Now, inside my houses, and this particular house, the Ecamm Live Demo, we are looking at these various rooms. See, here's a high level of confidence right here. I'm going to come in and highlight all of these other rooms right now, and I'm going to knock them down. Go back to this one where I was. Don't be funny. Highlight that one, and delete. Bam, out of there, gone. No problem, right? I can even take this particular one. Say I'm going to take this and move it out to the side. Just pick the whole thing up and drop it out here. Give it a second to think, and now I've generated a comeback. I'll show you what that means. If I delete this, right, there's a group of scenes inside here. If I open this folder, you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 themes, not themes. Scenes in there, delete them all. They're gone, right? And then so at any given time, if I wanted to put them back, I could literally just double click that icon. Why are you beeping at me? Oh, yeah, move. Got it. All right. If I double click this, it will put them all back, So, hey, don't do that. They just all come back in. So I don't really need them again. I'll delete them again, call them ghosts. And then now we're clean as a whistle, right? So if I look inside this baby now, you'll see there's the intro, there's me, and there's my outro. All right, cool. So we're going to start with this guy, and we're going to put on another Aaron. ¿Qué pasó, brother? What is up, Aaron? Good to see you. Good Friday to you, too. Boom. All right, we're going to pop this in, and we're going to make this new guy. Let's call this host plus LT. So now we're going to drop a lower third on this guy. All I want to do is add a piece of furniture. Now, in this scene, let me do something real quick. Let me delete this and let me open up overlay window real quick. These are like my furniture store. I'm going to consider this overlay window my entire furniture store, right? So we're going to get rid of that. And when you first do it, you're going to come out looking like this, right? This is blankety blank, blank, blank. If you don't listen to anything else today, trust you me, you want to always start new scenes with blank. So up here in source, Command-Shift-B. They put Shift-Command-B. At my brains, it should be the other way around, but that's Ken and Glenn. It's the same amount of keys. You do you. Command-Shift-B, that's the way I remember it. And then you always want to start with blank. Let me show you where to set that up. Command, comma. Hold on. I just noticed something was missing from this program here. 1 second, people. Keystroke Pro. All right. I'm opening up Keystroke Pro so that way when I hit keys, you guys can see what they are. That's what that's for. And enable. All right. So now, if I were to command comma, there you go. Now it's working. So in Ecamm, I hit command comma. In the video tab, right here, video tab, default source mode, blank. I don't care if you never said anything else I say. I don't care if you ignore everything I say. Set this one up. This one will save your bacon. You want your default source mode to be blank, 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 blank. No doubts about it. No pass go. Don't collect $200. Don't do it. That's the one. Other people will tell you differently. Tell them, shut up. Doc said blank, period. Always do blank. Trust me, it will save your bacon. Okay, so now we're sitting here with this blank setup. I'm going to add some carpet. Right? I like to think of this as my area rug. My background is my area rug. So I'm going to open up a folder here. I keep all my stuff in a place called Ecamm Assets. If I'm going to bring something to Ecamm, it lives in this folder. I'm going to pick up this PNG and I'm going to drop it in here. Boom. There it is. I have a background. But look, this one's scalable. I don't want that, right? Because that also means that I'll have a background here. Let me throw a camera in real quick just so you guys can see. But if I go back to this scene, the background is missing, right? If I turn the camera off, it's missing. We don't want that. We want this to be like a real deal Holyfield area rug. So in which case, I am going to delete both of these things real quick, just again to show you. When I pick up this carpet, I'm going to drop it in the area here on the side. If I zoom and zoom, there's show in the current scene and then there's show in the background. I want show in background. So if I ever roll back, roll out my homies. If I go back to here and click, man, you can't see that. The background is there. It lives. It lives where it lives. Even if I were to pick up my June background, look, it's there. If I go to the next scene, it's there. It stays there, right? I could even go as far as to do something crazy and put a moving background and it's back there. And when I go to my next scene, it's still there. Right? Now, why did I say do something crazy? I want to put a moving background and think, no, you don't. Stop it. Trust me, you don't want it. It sounds cute, but it's not cute. Just make it still. Nobody wants to see things twirling all dang day. It gets old. It looks cute for like 5 seconds. All right. Anyway, so we're here. Now we're going to bring in the camera. Down here on the bottom, these are the type of furniture you can buy at this overlay shop furniture store. You can buy, they're free. This is a metaphor. You can buy a new image. You could bring in an animation. You could bring in a screen share overlay. You could bring in a text overlay. You could bring in a shape. Ooh, this is only in beta, by the way. We're going to ignore that one. You can bring in a clock. You can bring in a web widget, or you can bring in a new camera. We're going to ignore the shape one for now. We'll talk about it in a little bit. I don't want to confuse the people that are scared to run beta. All right, so let's start with a camera. Booyaka! Put my camera here. And in this particular case, I just want to show you that if I click on the pencil here, I can select whichever shape I want. In my particular case, we're going to do wide. Bye-yow! Right, we're going to put that there. And we're going to embiggen this like such, and then line it up in the middle. Oh, I keep telling myself to remember to tell myself to remember, but I keep forgetting. I want a single keystroke center this. Okay, so everybody send a feedback request to support@ecamm.com and say, can we get a single keystroke to center an item, whether it be a camera or an overlay or a graphic or a text. We just want to hit center, and then that's it. And just trust me, it's a good idea. If everybody else, if you guys say it, it'll happen. If I say it, Ken and Glenn will be like, yeah, okay. All right, so now we got that. Let me go ahead and open up this. Let me open up this text overlay. I'm gonna hit that button right there, and then we're gonna make a new thing. Now, this requires some splaining. Let me poop out to this window for a second. Okay, folks, I said earlier, if you don't listen to anything else I say, this one was important with the blank camera. Well, this is also in that box of things. I don't know about y'all, but right here on the desk, I got my little note joints, right? Let me pull this out right here. I have these little note cards. You might have a notebook. I had a notebook too. I started using these cards because, I like them. They look great on the desk. If you know you're doing the same show all the time, you know you're building the same show all the time, while you're building it, take note. Write down what you're doing. If you do nothing else, take your phone and put it in video mode and say, hey, phone, I am making this new overlay. I am going to put my title font at 64. I'm going to put my second line font as 48. And as long as I remember that and I'm using this font, then the next time you come back in, you don't have to fight it. It's automatic to me, okay? Now, we have gotten recently a lot of requests to get some changes to the way you do fonts so that when you scale, when you go back to edit, you'll get with the new number, all of that. And I get that. I'm a graphic designer first and foremost. You know what? You kind of don't really need it because it will all scale appropriately if you just follow what I'm teaching you right now. Just trust me. I've done this a couple million thousand times. Okay, so let's get back in here. This is what I do every time. Anybody who's watched the demo has watched me do this any number of times. I'm going to build this joint right here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hold up. Yes, I have this. I can't switch the scene right now to show you. I have... Hold on. Man, this lady right here, I didn't know she was in here. Listen, you see this thing right here where it says simple podcast? Exactly what I did. I have you know what? I'm going to build it right now. I'm going to just show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to take this camera and unembiggen it a little bit, and I'm going to leave it like this. Okay. So what you do, hit this guy right here, and then you're going to go font, and I'm going to do what I always do. Come here. Get back over here, mouse. I'm going to go Montserrat, and then I'm going to go regular, and then I'm going to move this guy to where I can see. The box has changed a little bit. I'm put in my 64, and then I'm going to type in font Montserrat. That's not even how you spell it, but who cares? Oh, that's why. Montserrat 64. Right? And then I'm going to take out this. Anyway, I'm using the beta, so things are going to be a little bit different, but you'll see what I'm going to do. I'm going to 86 the text margin, right? And then kill the border width, and then kill the background, right? So that is my line. I can shrink this to whatever size. I'm going to take this one, drag it down, and then I'm going to edit the text. Sub font, Montserrat, 48. So leave yourself a notes. Make yourself a scene, call it mechanicals, and put everything in there, right? Now, the other thing that I like to do, which is really handy with the shapes button, you guys don't have yet, but you can just do it with the text box, is let's go here to the circle, kill the gradient. We're going to go solid, color, and then we're going to click here. And for this particular show, I'm going to use that. Boom. Right? Let's put it there. And then we're going to duplicate it. Duplicate it, because this is what I'm going to use for this particular show. So on this particular one, hit the color, and then hit, and then over here, hit the color. Oi, stay with me, tell you go and then hit the color, right? Literally build yourself a scene for your mechanicals, and then don't F with it. You know what I'm saying? So I got my colors right there. I got this right here. If I know that this is a thing, I can check this out. Command-Shift-4, right? Grab this right here. Pick it up. I use this app called Shotter. Look it up. Put that right there. All right, now we know. Now, I basically have a whole bunch of my mechanicals sort of built, and I know where I am going. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to look for anything. I have it all set up. As a matter of fact, I would even take this one step further and edit this particular text. And I'm going to go. Come on, Doc. There we go. Jesus. Jesus. ZVE 10 30 FPS. What the dang thing called? Game capture. All right. You guys learning new stuff today. We didn't even talk about this before, but this is, if you want to send this, like when I do scenes that I built for somebody else and I send it to them, this is what I want them to see. I want them to have it all. Like I sent one of these to Luis when I built the flow, and I was like, Luis, when you run the flow, this is it. This is you. You put me at guest 2, Katie at guest 1. These are the fonts. These are the colors. Everything was in the folder. It was like super, super simple. Yes, you got to make your own sound effects. It's just how it is. I just know this because I did it. You could do your own thing. That's just how I got it set up. Right? There you go. Build yourself one of these ones, and you never have this problem. You never say, oh, I had a setting right, and then the setting went crazy, and now I forgot. You don't have to worry about that. Thank you, Keller. Keller Coleman sounds like a real estate agent, but it's Gary Keller, who's a principal at Keller Williams, who wrote one of my favorite books, One Thing. So there you go. Now there you go. That's all you need. Like, this is me. This is how I'm gonna set my joint up. I really don't have to do anything. Another thing that would be a great reminder to myself. And again, you just put this in your scene somewhere. No one has to see it. It's hidden. You can just make it for you. But boom. This one needs this. And it needs a different color. Because I gotta remember. Do you remember? Ah. There you go. Boom. Boom. And there. And there like swimwear. I better write this for those of y'all who don't know what I'm writing, who don't understand what I'm writing. All right, there you go. Gangster. Gangster. All right, now we set up. Now with this scene right here, just set it in my folder somewhere. I can hide it from everybody. No one needs to see it. I can stick it in a folder, call a folder mechanicals, which I'll do in a second. And then now you're done. Paul, Dan, the answer to your question is Doc Rock, me, this guy, fat dude in the glasses, I don't use things that are unstable. So if I use it, it's stable. If I use it, you never have to question if it's good. I don't use anything that's trash. I don't waste my time. I don't even bother. Right? Yeah. So the answer is extremely stable. If I use it, if Doc tested, Doc recommended, Doc approved, that's it. That's automatic. Not trying to be a wise Alec, but I get all the gear and I'll test it and I'll be like, yeah, this is dope. No, it's not. And at the rate that I rave over them, even so much that they are a partner in Creator Camp, we're not going to recommend something to you that sucks. That's simple. You don't even have to ask. It's like, hey, chef, do you think this is going to taste good if I make it the way you make it? Yes, chef. Anyway, back to the program. So now we did this. Let's do one other thing. I'm going to go here now in my Ecamm situation. I'm going to press new group, right? And then that's theirs. And I'm just going to put mechanicals. That's what it's called. I'm just going to stick this in there. And then we don't ever have to look at it. It's hidden, right? It's gone. But I can move it down to the bottom so I don't have to see it. But if I ever get to the point, and then boom. We're talking two whole different things. I'm a tech writer first and foremost. I get every iPhone the day it comes out. No, I'm not switching it because they're unstable. I'm switching it because I bleed edge. That's a whole different conversation. We're talking apples and oranges now. All right, let's go back to this. Let's pop this. Boom. Stay here and do what I say. There we go. So now we're going to do host and then go back to my LT. LT means lower third. Boom, hit that. Hit the text box again. And so now, the reason why we did all mechanicals is so you understand what's going to happen, right? Jesus. Okay. Man, you talking about out of practice. God, come on. All right, so to the original statement, right? We're going to select the second line, pop it at 48. We're going to leave this at the top. That's at 64, right? I'm going to take this particular one, pop it on medium, take this and pop it on bold. And this right here, I'm going to do thin, right? Or if I want to do extra light, right? So there's my setup. Now I have it designed sort of how I wanted, except for I'm going to come in and take this and hit on my little color situation. And then I'm going to press that to orange. Oh, sorry, Paul. Thank you. I'm just typing. Sorry, Paul. Oh, good answer, P. All right, cool. Told y'all I'm out of practice. All right, so now I just basically typed out my box. And let me X that out of here. I'll do it again just so you can see. Wait. All right, so all of these are 64s. I'm gonna take this particular one, drop it to 48, and yeah, just remember the 64 and the 48, and I'll show you why in a second, right? So I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna put that on medium. This one is going to be bold, and this one is going to be extra thin. This is just me. That's how I like to do it. Select this guy, put it on blue. Select this guy, put it on orange. There's my setup. Now I'm going to do is edit the background. And again, I'm going to put solid color. And now we are cooking with Pam. All right. So we got our solid color there. Slide a little border. I like to set my border to 8. You can zoom in real quick to see what you're doing. There it is. I got my corner radius is at 12. I like to set my margin at 10. And then I just know my specs. Once you have it set, and you know that this is the look you like, make a photo, right? You could throw this in your little Notion document, right? So, you could do something like that and call it a day. And you could throw this in your little Notion document, right? Or I can leave it over here. Let me do something else. Let me do this again. Let me hit Command-Shift-4. There we go. That's what I wanted. It's more clean, right? Save this. Save this somewhere where you can get back to it. You could also come back. Oh, let me save this real quick. I'll show you in a second how to fix this. Come back to mechanicals, right? Take this little image that we just made and drop it in there, right? So you can have it. Then you don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? As my friend Aaron says, don't worry about it, right? You can just pop it in there. And so you have access to it. Whenever you need to go and check, no one's going to look at the scene. You can just embiggen it so that you can see. So if you make it too small for Paul, you can just put it back. It doesn't matter because this is yours. It's not going to mess up the graphic. The graphic is going to be there. You can store this in a folder somewhere. Like I can take this image and drop it in my Ecamm Assets folder just so I have it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I could take this particular image right here, drag it out to the Ecamm Assets folder, and drop it in there, right? It's in there, right? You're good to go. Anyway, so let's go back to where we were. So I'm going to show you what I mean by this. I know this is my size here, and I know it's huge. We're just leaving it huge for this particular sake of argument. I want to show you something. So let's duplicate this, right? And then I'm going to hit this particular guy, go in the edit text real quick, and I'm going to take this top line and make it 96, and then I'll take this bottom line and I'm going to make it 72. All right, this is going to be super mad obnoxious, right? But if I grab the scaler, Command tilde moves the things out of the way, and I scale them until they match, look, it fits. It's the same thing, right? Because it scales proportionately, right? So at this point, even if I set this at 64 and 48 and this one at 96 and 72, it still scales, right? So look, I'm going to get really silly with it. Come back over here, and I'm going to set this top one. I'm going to come all the way down to the back and set this top one at 18. And then I'm going to set this bottom one at 24, right? So it's super tiny, right? But if I scale them back up, I can get them to the same size. You know what I mean? Actually, I did it backwards. That's why it's goofy. Anyway, you get the point. So, yeah, it would be nice to have some sort of quote unquote like accurate number typing in here, but it's kind of sort of not that big a deal because you can just fix it, right? When you scale them to where the sizes match, they go back to matching. The only reason why this one is off is because I did it out of order first. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to scale this down to about where I want it. I'm going to grab this edge and pull it out and then pop this right here. So that's going to be my setup, right? Now, I'm going to copy that. I'm just holding the same box. I just copy it. I'm going to make a new scene. New scene. In here, I'm going to paste that in, right? I actually like the style of my camera, just don't want the shape. So I'm going to copy that, drop it over to the new scene, paste it in, right? Now I'm going to click on the pencil, go into my shape, and shape it to squirks. All right, and I can take this box, make sure the text is on top, and then pull this in. I like to go about 80%. It's not math. I just guess it visually. And then we're going to call that a setup. Now, I'm going to grab both of these in the overlay section. Grab this and grab this and hold down the Option key and just pull it sideways. Oh, you messed up. Grab both of them together. Okay, you want to be mean. I'll do it separate because it's just being mean today. All right, pull this over, line that up. All right, this particular one, just switch this to camera B. What's up? Hey, Rich. How you doing? Oh, this Rich. Let's do this. Edit the text. Boom. Enter. Now we're square. So I got myself ready, got my guests ready. You know what? I don't like see this is just where you get into weird designer stuff because I like to mine's is up both title capital and lowercase. I want this to be title lowercase. God, you can't type today. All right. There we go. So now I'm set, right? Coming back to this, we're going to twirl it back just a smidge. We're going to hit this folder, new group. We're going to call this host. And we're going to put in, bam, bam, lock them together, close that, make another new group by hitting this folder. And then we're going to put in bam, bam, lock it, readjust the hierarchy, and then we're good. All right, cool. Let me move this out the way. I'm going to my folder here, drag in my asset. PNGs can be tough if you have a wireframe PNG like I have here. To make sure you make sure it turns into a hand before you try to move it, because it just make your life hard. And let me do this. I like to overlay them on top of each other to get the sizing correct. But it can be problematic grabbing the right one. But, you know, you do you. Whatever works for you. All right. Now we're square. Now we are square. So we got our couple different ones. Everything is all sort of lined up there. The next thing we're going to do is check to see if you guys made any questions. This also gives me the opportunity to show you why we are so super psycho about you folks remembering to plus. You folks remembering to put the Q colon in front of your questions. Go to the trash. There you go. So in the comments area, you can see, I see everybody's comments here, right? Whenever we want to check for questions, I have the opportunity to click in this little box, hit a Q colon, and go like that. And it's only Paul and Dan, so nobody had questions today. Great. Cool. All right. But you also can search on the different things, right? Nobody said anything about audio today. There was a, question about beta, right? I could also come in here and say, hit that to start George's comment. I could, well, that's also George's comment. But, I can hit those. And then when I come over here to favorites and click there, I'll see those comments. And as I'm done with them, I can just demark the star. And then, boom, we're back in action, right? So what's really cool is you can type down here in YouTube only, you can answer back. On the other platforms, their APIs just don't account for that. So it's super funny. You know, we often get questions like, "Oh, how come this comment doesn't do this, but this doesn't?" YouTube's API for comments is the best in the business. Everybody else is right now faulty AF, like all of them. So Facebook's comments API is horrible. LinkedIn's one is non-existent for us, but nothing we can do about it. We can't just invent the ability to pull comments into somebody else's program without. At the Melvin, you can ask it. I'll save it for the end, though. I just don't want to confuse people. Yeah. But don't listen to Paul. I just said it. You can ask it, but I will save it for the end. Paul's correct. Under normal circumstances, I'm not going to ask because I don't want to confuse people. But I am using the beta because I only use the beta. I don't use anything else. But yeah. Anyway, the idea for the demo is to make it simple for the new people. Actually, the new people should use the beta anyway. I'm just saying, our betas are dope. Our betas are ridiculously dope. Woo. Anyway, let's go to the next part. So we're going to go here, and then I'm going to add a new scene. And then in this particular scene, I'm going to just pop in the camera, like here, and make it a wee bit small, like a wee small head. And then I'm going to click down here on the bottom and press on this iMac looking icon to bring in the screen share overlet. And I'm going to pull it out like such. And then click on, let's go open up Keynote. Man, that was slow. Select my, oh, it's not downloaded. What is going on? Man, I haven't done the demo long enough that the Keynote wasn't downloaded. Interesting. Anyway, hit open. It's going to take a second to think. Mahalo, Mr. Melvin. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hurry up and download. What are you doing, internet? It shouldn't take that long to download internet. What the are you doing? It taking, there you go. Jesus. All right, so here's my Keynote, and as you can see, it's just as I'm moving around the window, it's following. What we're gonna do, this is a very important step again. While on Keynote, go to the play box and make sure you have it set for in a window, not full screen. You want in a window. Super important. What that allows me to do is go to the top of this guy, press play. Now it's playing in this particular floaty window, right? So, oi, not do that, we. If I click on this guy and change this to Keynote, right? I can select that particular window, especially if you're the type of person who likes to rock the speaker notes. I don't, but if you do, boom, rock it in here, come back to this thing, and then let me just switch this for a second, select that again. Now I have that window, and this window is independent. So what you can do at this point is move this to another screen, say projector, or a whole different computer, big screen television, whatever. It's gone. It's out of there, but it's still fine in your presentation, right? Now, let's say in my presentation, I want to make that little extra bits of border go away. Cool. What we're going to do is hold down the Option key, pull it down until it matches. This is what Arthur Bell would call the tighten up. That morning tighten up. Sorry, I have musical Tourette's. But now, if I'm over here and I'm, hey, Don't click that. I'm not talking to you. If I'm over here and I'm clicking things like such, don't jump around, right? It's just allowing me to control my presentation. But this big window here is all the folks would see. So even if you put notes in there, you know what I'm saying? So you would be able to go in and do that. That's cool. Look, you could also, let me duplicate this. Oh, do not leave, please do not leave everything named new scene. It will mess you up. All the time. All right, so we're going to take that particular one and duplicate it. And then add a new screen share overlay. In this case, I'll press Chrome. Oh. Google Chrome. In there. Same thing you can do is you could hold this down and crop the windows in if you wish, and then sort of reposition and resize accordingly. So again, it could be any app you want. Matter of fact, it could be a whole nother computer. Lieutenant Dan, what it do? How you doing, sir? Good to see you. All right, so basically that's how you set up your scenes, and if you set your stuff up right, you can literally build your entire show to record a video or record a webinar, class, Zoom meeting, whatever, and set yourself up with the finished product. You don't even need to edit, or you can edit very little because you have everything sort of set in direct order. Let's look real quick at making adjustments for sound and whatnot. Let me rename this to browser. As I do. And I'm going to duplicate this one. And now I'm going to select Ecamm Live. You're not doing what I want you to do. Or just go away. I'll do it this way. Ecamm Live Beta sound levels. There we go. All right. Just want you guys to pay attention. You'll see here that I have my master feed coming in on the Rodecaster Duo chat. Now, this is where people get themselves in trouble. I'm going to help you make this as easy as possible. If you have an advanced interface that can do mix minus channels, you don't need to have this system audio. I have it uninstalled on purpose because if I want to play something from YouTube and make it come through, I can feed that through my mixer. I don't have to use Ecamm app audio or system audio or anything like that. If you have it installed and you are running an advanced situation, what can happen is that it okay. That was loud. What can happen is you can cause the Ecamm app to listen to itself, and that causes a weird and it makes all kind of weird sounds. And everyone goes, oh, the app broke. No, the app didn't broke. The app can't listen to itself and broadcast itself into itself. That's known as a feedback loop, right? So you have two types of back. Well, three. You got slapback, feedback, and loop back. Slapback is when the sound comes back and re-enters the mic with a single bounce, what you folks would call echo. A feedback is when the sound is coming back into the same thing that is trying to produce sound, and it can cause before But now it causes digital artifacting because you're putting the same bits on top of the bits slightly delayed and backwards. You don't want that. And the loopback is where you take sound from another application and you loop it back to the master source. So we don't need loopback because we have a Rodecaster Pro or a Tascam or a Zoom or some advanced interface that allows you to select your USB channel as one of the channels. And if you do that, it works. So right now, in this particular case, I am playing this Chrome window, but it is coming through on the Rodecaster on the USB channel, right? So I don't need to use a system app audio. So anybody that has an advanced interface, you can skip this. Do not install that or uninstall it if you already did, because that's where you're getting the random noises or when it grabs the thing called Ecamm app audio. If you don't have an advanced interface, if you are using a MV7 or something of that nature, actually I think MV7 now even has built-in loopback channels. Yeah, can you explain it again, Victor? Thank you. Because people just go into the community and they say, oh, you need loopback. And everybody just starts buying loopback. And most people don't need it at all. You just don't. There is an occasion where you might want to have it, but for most of us, we don't need it. But the main thing is, yeah, if you have an advanced interface, you don't need it. And a lot of the new microphones like the Wave, I believe they're updating Motive to have virtual channels, which is loopback, built in as well. And yeah, so just be careful of that. Okay, so this is important. And you see, I left myself in the mechanicals note. I left myself a note to put everything back to 80. There's a reason why I do that. If you look at all my little bubbles down here, they all say 80. This is so that if I am here and I'm doing my show and someone says, hey, can you make this sound louder? I have some space. I don't want to touch the interface because it's perfectly set up. So I don't want to increase the volume on the Rodecaster, or I wouldn't want to increase the volumes on my microphone if I had one of those little slider things on the MV7. I just want to be able to move the one on Ecamm. So I set everything up to 80. I do all of my audio checks at 80. I record everything at 80, and it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Yes, do I want to have VU metering? Absolutely. Why? Because I know how to read them. I'm going to say, looking at the who's in the chat right now, myself, Melvin, maybe Aubrey, and maybe that's it. That's all I see off the top of my head. Would know how to read a proper meter. So having that metering is dope, but like literally most people aren't gonna know how to read it. So it just will just make things confusing. So we have it set up where set it at 80, makes it perfectly wise, and then boom. You don't need Ecamm app audio. It's not for humans. I think I discussed this in the chat the other day, and it might have been hard to understand. It's not an interface that you ever select. That is something that we do when we generate virtual channels to feed it to a different application for you. You should never select that with your own hands. There's no way for us to hide it because that's not the way macOS works, right? macOS is showing you that it exists. Maybe for security reasons, I don't know why they do that. But in theory, in the old days, we used to be able to hide it. Not we, I mean, in general, developers in general could hide it when we generated aggregate audio channels. But nowadays, for security reasons or people with, apps that listen to you kind of things, maybe they just, any app that can hear you, there has to be visually seen. So in that particular case, boom. Okay, so this is kind of hard for me to show you, but I can explain it. The reason why it's hard for me to show you is I'm using this. I'm using a grown folks interface. But why you gotta ask hard questions, Tots? Hold on. Let's go. All right, it's not that hard. No, it's not that hard. Let me fix this. Let me readjust my size so that it fits. Tell Epidemic to shut up. Okay, so I can't install system audio live. However, it's legit. English. It's legit right here in the side. Activate system audio capture. Right? So if I need to play something from Chrome, I just need to check this box in the screen share. And that's it. Don't touch nothing else. You're done. If you don't do that, you still can do it. But that's the easy way. The easy way is when you set up a screen share window, this button exists. Activate system audio capture. If you do that, game recognized game. All right. Now, there's always more than one way to skin an apple. God, cat people don't come for me. I'm not talking to you, Maestro. Also, over here, there is a tab in your preferences, screen sharing. I wonder what's in here. If I am sharing the screen, do I want to see desktop icons? No. Do I want to see the desktop picture? No. Yes. Do I want to adjust the border margins? Yes. I want to optimize for better quality. Yes. Do I want to include the mouse cursor? Yes. The mouse size? Yes. Show the mouse click? Yes. And then show everything whenever that's there. It used to be in here, there's a section to add the app audio. It may have moved recently, but maybe where did you put it? Yeah, it used to be here, but it's not there now. So it's on the side window. But basically, yeah, you would set in here whenever you are doing a screen share that you would always share sound or only share it when you want. But we've gone one step further and just put the button on the side, which is better. I think it doesn't need to be in both places. And yeah, as long as you have that side box checked, you should be gravy. So anything that you want to share, whenever you share a screen, just click that little box on the side. Actually makes it even easier. Now, if this was installed, I believe this exact box right here for me would give me a drop down to say always, ask every time, or only when actively screen sharing. So in the audio section, I don't have system audio installed, but if you clicked here, that's where it would be. Yeah. I'm bringing that down. What is up, Johnny? Tots, let me know if that make any sense to you. But yeah, most people, for the most part, have no need for loopback. You just don't. Well, I'm gonna be the first person to point out. I have said to you guys 1,015 times, let's make it 1,016. Audio is not complicated for the simple reason that our audio is literal AF. Like all the fancy words mean exactly what they say and nothing else. They don't say one thing and mean one thing. So if broadcast system audio is set to never, then it won't come out. If you set it to always, then it will always come out. And if you set it to ask every time, it will ask you, or whatever the third option. But it's super literal. It doesn't deviate from that. Having live ideas on the fly. Boom, boom, doom, boom. Ecamm live. just defaults to open in the chat GPT. That's when life is good. Okay, so we got Ecamm Live. New version is available. Install the update real quick. It might make more sense from here. So let me go quit. Tati, I have a question. What app are you trying to show for the sound to come out? Not that it matters, but I'm just processing the idea real quick as I set this up. Yes, this is correct. But anyway, what app are you trying to show while you're doing the dang thing? All right, that's gravy. Ecamm is almost done. Done. Ecamm Live. All right, so we're going to get rid of that. And then we're going to go to screen share, Chrome. Oh my God, Tati, you and me, we're friends, but we're about to fight. If you're showing it in Chrome, you still don't need to do what you think you need to do. Is it a special website or is it a website that we can share publicly? In other words, do you need to log in or is it just a generic public-facing website? People, pay attention to what we're fixing to do here, okay? Because I know it takes a time for YouTube to answer Tati, and Tati to answer me, but you guys are going to be gainfully surprised when I tell her what I'm fixing to tell her. Anywho, so let me entertain you. Yeah, so what's the website, Tots? Anyway, this is Epidemic Sound. What I'm about to show you right now is the absolutely dumbest way to do this, right? And the reason why I'm saying is the dumbest way to do this, you'll see after, but I'm just showing you what you could possibly do. So this is Ecamm Live running on this machine, and I'm going to do it the way that we're trying to do it, and then I'm going to do it the dock way, okay? So let's start with regular way and dock way. Okay, so first thing I would do, I got my NDI out on over here. I'm going to make a new window, and then I'm going to select camera, and then I'm going to open up my camera switcher. And on this particular camera, let's do camera D, and let's select my computer. Oi, don't drag, just drop. All right, so if I put this Mac in the demo mode, Command-Shift-D, turn on live demo mode, you can see my whole Ecamm from the other computer running on this computer, right? There, I'm gonna put myself down here. All right, so this computer is basically running Ecamm showing Epidemic Sound. So if I were to press play on something here, turn that down, and then look at my system audio here. It's there, right? So if I set this up in my audio thing, so the options were windscreen sharing, never, all the time, right? And then so, yeah, that's how you would do it for Tati's particular case. Just set it for all the time, and it's going to work. But here's the reason why I said doing it this way is sort of semi-psycho and an absolute waste of energy, okay? Because after all of that work, what we just did, will work, right? You could just go into your Ecamm over here and then open this up and then set your system audio and set it for all the time and do whatever. But that's silly. I'm going to tell you why. Let me switch back. Okay, hold on. Just stay with me now. It's beyond silly. Here's why. Let's go grab a brand new scene, right? Boom. New scene. Throw in the picture. Hey, what's up, Doc? Then I want to show that same epidemic sound window. Okay? So I'm going to grab it. Matter of fact, I'm not going to use the epidemic sound window for the simple reason that logging in is going to be a pain in the butt, but I'll use YouTube. All right? I'm just going to use the YouTube window and I should show epidemic because people need to see that it works. Okay. Here's what you do. So simple. Any Chrome window.
Any Chrome window. Let's be more specific. Any bombaclat website in the entire freaking planet.
Doesn't need to screen share. Press the globe. Type in the URL. Set it to whatever number you want to set it to. I said 1920 by 1080 because that's the answer. High resolution mode, keep running. 30 frames per second, done. There's no need to screen share any Chrome window. Not a single need whatsoever. There's just not. Okay? Like, we're killing ourselves doing things the hard way for no reason whatsoever. Ba-jing, 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 ba-jing. La-da. That song that's playing in the background is even in this list, right? What I was just playing is right here. So on the bottom, turn on the finger. Once you turn on the finger, the website works. Why, pray tell, are we trying to do it the hard way? I just want to say, why, pray tell, are we trying to do it the hard way? You don't need to screen share it. Just open the dang site in Ecamm directly. No, it's not. It's not going to happen. I forget it too. I made a whole one of these just to say that look, I forgot it too. I made a whole one of these, but the widget way is better. The whole reason why we made the widget way is to eliminate people saying that they can't do it. So the widget way is better. Okay? So there's that. I feel like D. Martin was going to sing. Yes, it is. That is the way to do it, folks. That is it. Let's escape this and bring this back over here. There is even, I haven't done this in forever, but there is even a way to be in Keynote and do it as a video. I mean, do it as a website. I haven't done this in a minute. I know there's a way to do it. Why? Because we used to do it at Apple. Export as, I guess, yeah, you can export it as HTML, right? Create an HTML document that can be viewed with Safari or any other web browser. So we're going to say save. It's going to do this. We're going to save this on the desktop for temporary sake, right? Desktop. Dun, 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 dun. I actually said this to somebody the other day too, because they're at a similar situation to Tati where they wanted to do a keynote that had a video embedded. And I'm like, but we're Ecamm. Just play the video as a video scene and not in the actual keynote because it'll be better presented as the actual video, right? So for instance, we're going to make another new scene here. Let's do this real quick. Actually, let's make a new scene. Make a new scene and then do widget keynote. Boom. So we're going to click this. We're here. We're going to delete that. Bam. We're going to take this widget, and actually, we don't even need that. If I remember correctly, you can just drop the HTML and automatically generates a widget. Shut up. What? Yeah, you just see that? Let me delete that because some of y'all was sleeping when I did that. Let me just grab the HTML file. Doink, done. Game recognized game. In there like swimwear and bigging it like such. Okay, so let's just say in supposition, I am doing my presentation and, we are here, right? We are presenting, we're doing a presentation, and we get to this and we want there to be a video. It is better to go to the next scene here and delete the big head dude, delete this, grab a video, would just be any old video. Here we're gonna use this video and drop it in. Okay. So the video could play and then go back to the keynote, right? Oh, you know what? We want to set it not to refresh every time. So if I edit the widget, I got to make sure that keep running is on. I'll put high resolution mode, right? Let's go back to where we were. All right. So play the video as a naked raw video, right? And then go back to here and keep going, right? And then go back to here, play the video, right? If you need the video to continue to march, you can definitely set it up so that instead of starting from the beginning, you can start to the last position, right? So we're doing a curation type situation and we were to step back and then step forward, right? The video will be where it is, right? And then we go here, it's still there, and I can continue to march, so forth, so on, et cetera. So, yeah, I mean, you could do it that way. Now, Tati brings up a very good question, right? Does the Keynote export as HTML save your animations? I am trying to reprogram the entire planet. Let me reprogram the planet for you. When I was in school, my teacher, Mrs. Susan Deek, for 4 years solid, she made us do a presentation every single day so that we would get good at presentations. As you can tell, my presentations are dope. I'm not trying to be a smart ass, but they are. The things that she always harped on us is don't put in too much words. We're not allowed more than 7 words on the slide, right? The only time I have that one slide that irritates me to this day, it hurts my feelings because it's against my religion. But the place I was doing the presentation insisted that I had this session agenda slide, which I think silly. They wanted me to do it their way, and it really hurt my feelings because I am like this. Yeah, I don't do more than 7 words on the slide because it's just silly. Because people like Paul sitting in the back can't read your slides. But the other thing that we sort of harped on is we were taught skip all these animations because they're distracting and they're fine when they're working, but you never know what equipment you're going to get. So when you go to someplace else and they have PowerPoint 10 and the rest of the world is on PowerPoint 19, but you're there, your animations aren't going to work anyway. So your whole presentation that you put these animations in is now crippled. The reason why people primarily put animations was to add a little style and possess so that the presentation wouldn't be boring, which is fully understandable. But in the live video standpoint, you're the animation. You are the human. You are there. You're excited. You're the animation. So there's no need to put animations in a presentation because you're the animation. You're here. Holla! This is way better than honestly. Let's just be honest. But for all arguments, because some people are hard-headed, let's just do what Tati said, right? Let's just do what Tati said, because people are hard-headed and they wanted to be the way they wanted to be, even though you absolutely should skip all animations at this point in time. We're going to take this B and we're going to move it to here. So we got this to this, all right? See, I don't even do this mess, so I'm going to forget how to do it. Let's just say clothesline. There you go. That's good enough. All right, so slide 10 to 13. Okay, so Tati is saying, right? Let me again explain this to people. Tati is saying, by animations, I mean reveal, show, parsement, content, time control, whatever. Got it. It's teaching. Fully understand. This is how I do it. This is just me. Again, I might end up on a Pentium 486 and my joint will still work. Why? Because, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Duplicate. Bam. I normally would build a grid to make sure that it all stays, but for right now, for speed purposes, I'm going to skip that. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the same thing. I mean, honestly, it's the same thing. But, here, let's just, again, for the sake of argument, right? Again, folks is hard-headed. They like to do things the way I call this academicians. The academia nuts is what I call them in Hawaii. Everybody just loves to do things the way they did it because that's how they know how to do it. So anyway, these are all going to be there, and let's export this as a thing again. All right. Export HTML. And I wish I knew the answer to this question ahead of time so we wouldn't have to do this. But again, I don't do animations. I'm animated. I'm an animated speaker. I don't need those weird things. Right. Anyway. Let's go. I think it does. I think it does, Tati, because it's taking longer to export. I think it does. I think it does. Where did my file go? You should have been on the desktop. Uh-oh, I sent it to iCloud like a donkey. Let me do it again. I know that because I don't normally put things on my desktop, so I guarantee you I sent it to iCloud like a donkey. Yep, I did. I'm not going to move it. It'll be faster for me to redo it. If you hit Command D in this box, it defaults to desktop. Sorry about that. It should reanimate faster the second time because it's already thought out, but all right, there we go. So the answer to Tati's question is as follows. Boom. Let's take that, delete it. Let's take this, pick it up, drop in that. Oi, you missed. Bam. All right, there's there. And then we're going to embiggen it like such. And then we are going to make sure that it is set to keep high resolution mode, keep running. And then this is just me. I don't know if this really matters, but it's habitual, so I do that. All right. Bam. So now it's there. And put on the finger so that it works. Yes, the animations work even the way you said to set it, Tots. So it does work. I'm going to go back to the other one. And now Tati got me curious. I actually want to install. Here, watch. Oh, we just learned something new. Compliments and TTR. That's not right. It's TRT actually. But yeah, we learned something new. Compliments of Tati. So yes, you can absolutely. Oh, I'm making a new video. There's fixing to be a new video. Tati, you should make a video on this too. I'm just saying. Okay, now again, I'm blaming Tati for this. One step further. All right, look, if you're gonna, nobody puts baby in the corner. If you're gonna do this, I'm gonna take it one step further to just, I like to eliminate excuses. I don't like excuses. I think excuses make my face hurt, and I get really mad at people who generate them. So I want to take all excuses off the table, and I know it's none of my business. If they want to make excuses, they can make all excuses they want, but it's just me. I'm not a fan. So let's do this, and we're going to take it one step further. Boom, since we out here in these streets, you know, and I know.
Hey, everyone.
That you know that I know that you know that I know. Boom. Start the movie. Yes, we're going to leave it at start the movie. Okay? And then action, don't need an action, and build out, don't need it out. All right, cool. All right. Boom. I put it on the second slide so we don't have to go very far. So here we go. Are you ready for the next comedian? Export to no, not images, you stupid. I said HTML. You probably didn't have to close that window. In theory, you could have just changed the box. Anyway, so I got HTML, right? I'm going to go ahead and say save. And then I'm going to hit Command D so it goes back to the desktop. And then we're going to export it again. It's going to take a second because we're doing extra stuff. But I'm going to eliminate all of the craziness right here, right now. Now, I don't know if this is going to work the way Tati wants it to work because I don't have that interface. But what I can do is take this file and smash it up someplace and send it so that Tati can test it on her setup because she doesn't have an advanced interface. But let's just see. I'm excited. Tati got us learning new stuff because you ask good questions, you get good answers. Ask stupid questions, Doc gonna give you stupid answers. This was a good question. There we go. And again, you don't have to do this. This is just me. I feel safe doing this. I don't believe in safety. Safety is fake. Anyway. Let's do that. Switch on the button. Give it a second. Let's hit this. All right. I need you to go back to the beginning. What are you doing? There we go. It definitely makes the slide take longer. That doesn't work. Unless it takes time to load. Nope, that one doesn't work. Oh, I'm bummed. I wanted it to work. Wait, it has the player here though. Acknowledgement. Cloud waiting bezel. This is large, so it seems like that would be the asset. Nope. Assets folder, player folder. Right? Me too. I thought it would work. I mean, the other one worked kind of gangster, but this doesn't seem to work. I'm just peeling in here to see if it's hidden. Okay, now what I'm going to test, again, because I blame Tati, I'm going to drop this into an actual HTML window here. And then Yo, that's crazy. On the HTML one, if you come to the side, you can actually jump around. You can't do that in a regular Keynote way. Right? Yo, that's crazy. Reload the widget. Oh, I know what. Let's try this, Tots. One more thing before we move it. Let's go to edit the widget. And then, no, let me turn off high resolution mode to see if that does anything. And then reload. All right. So, well, no, what I meant, Tots, is I loaded it in this browser over here, like an actual Chrome browser, to see if it plays. Because it might just be something about.
Hey everyone,
Okay.
it's Shelly from Shelly Saves the Day. I want to send some special love out to my Ecamm fam. You guys know how much I love.
All right, so the truth, hey, this is cool. I'm gonna figure this other thing out. I'll ask Kid and Glenn. If I play it in a browser on my computer, instead of just dragging it in from here, what I did, let me just make this more obvious, make a new window. I clicked here and I drop it in here. Dragging it in here, it worked. Click it.
Hey everyone, it's Shelly from.
See, that played, right? But when I dragged it into Ecamm and clicked it, it didn't work. Whee. Go back to the top here. Why is that missing? That whole video's missing. Wait, what happened here? That was weird. Yeah, it doesn't play there. It should play though. I mean, in theory, just the way this thing works, and it might just be the file. I can try doing it as a WebM or something, and that might make it different. But instead of doing it that way, what I did was I just had another Chrome window open, and I dragged it into the other Chrome window, and that did work, right? Oh, don't do that. That's messy. Where'd it go? Yeah. Make a new one. So I just had a Chrome window like such, right? And again, you could try different browsers to see what works. And all I did was I dropped this in here and shared this, and it absolutely worked.
Hey everyone, it's Shelly.
Right? So when I was on this particular scene, which is a share of the Chrome browser, if I click here, click on Chrome, and select that, it does work. Right? And it plays through.
Shelly from Shelly Saves the Day. I want.
And then the rest of the keynote still continues to march with all of the animations and the whole 9 yards. So yeah, Tots, it's about do some playing around and check out like which way works the best, right? If it's the stuff that you're creating, just trust me, put the video as a slide in Ecamm and not in Keynote. It's simpler, it's better, it's more flawless, less work for your computer, no headaches, no hassles, no whatever, right? If it's something where you're presenting somebody else's work, so say Dan sent you a Keynote presentation to present to your class, you got no choice. I fully understand those. But for you, when you're creating them, I would just play it as a video in Ecamm. We have Ecamm. And so many people are in the Ecamm community, how to play a movie in a Keynote slide. I'm like, you got Ecamm, just play the movie. It don't make no sense to have it in the other way. Like, it's kind of psycho, right? You just come here and boom, play the movie. Call it a day, right? So that's the easier way to do that. That was a fun experiment, compliments of Tati. So that was pretty cool though. And Yeah, I'm gonna go figure out if there's. I don't know why anybody would do it that way, but yeah, I would figure out why, like how to make it play like and as a widget, because YouTube videos play in as a widget. Right. So if I were to bring in that same thing as an actual YouTube video, it completely works and is raw dog flawless. So I am super curious as to why it wouldn't play directly in there. But let's go
Hi
and
there.
grab this, click this, copy this, and hey, let's try something really psycho. Okay, let's come down here and let's make this new scene, and we're gonna delete this. All right, and I show how really psycho. I'm just gonna drag this and turn it loose.
Hi there. In this video, I want to help you organize your Stream Deck for your live streaming in
Oh,
Ecamm. And I have to admit, it took me a while to get into.
yo, see that? Did y'all catch that? That's how simple. Well, how do I share a Chrome window in Ecamm? Easy. Drag the URL to a blank Ecamm window and then press play. I didn't even have to press the widget thing here and do all. Drag. We're Mac people. Drag and drop. Ta-da! Yo, today we learned some new stuff. What do you mean, but? What do you mean, but? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're creating stuff that's already created, what can you do? You're stuck with it. But if you're creating stuff that's yours and you can rearrange it, yeah. But now you can always edit the keynote, right? You can always delete the scene that make a duplicate. Don't ever edit the real one. Make a duplicate the one, kill the one that has a movie in it, and boom. And from the keynote file, you can actually export the movie that's in there. So it would just be simpler for your computer. But yeah. Anyway, the traditional way does work. It's just not as good. This is cleaner. If you want to do it the clean way or the other way, boom. Bah. Anyway, we're done. We had enough time goofing off today, and we learned some new stuff. Thank you, Tati, for making us learn some new stuff. This is why, people, I am all about experiment. Like, people are like, well, I wonder if. Just try it. What are you gonna do? You can't break it. Like, if you can break it, we can fix it. Ask Daniel. Luis and Paul would tell you, Daniel breaks something at least once a week, and then Ken and Glenn are going, how the hell what the? I'm like, dude, Daniel breaks stuff on a regular basis, and then they fix it. So a lot of fixes that you don't even know about have been completed because somebody has to be willing to try things. And you can't break the app. Worst case scenario, you can just delete it and reinstall it. Like, if you back up all your scenes like you're supposed to, they're not going anywhere, right? Even if you break the app, your scenes aren't going anywhere. If you're worried about your scene, your precious, my precious, go here, drag all of them, right? Let me skip this bottom one. Top to bottom, hold down the shift key, highlight them all, pick it up by the name, and turn it loose on your desktop. You now have a copy of all of your scenes. So now break whatever you want to break because they're all there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to sweat it. Don't worry about a thing because every little thing going to be all right. Right now, I'm going to have a conniption because there's too much stuff on my desktop. But look, that's too hard, Doc. I don't even want to do that. Okay, cool. All you really need to do, look, I made full duplicates of everything. All you really need to do after that is basically just export the whole profile, right? If you don't want to do it that way, let me delete all of this because it's making my face hurt. Come up to profiles and say export current profile. Bam. It's going to export everything, settings, passwords, the whole 9 yards, right? It's just all there. So you're good. You don't have to sweat this stuff. Like, just try things. Stop being afraid to break it because you can't break it. And whatever you break, we can fix. Now, that doesn't say throw cameras and lights around, but you can't break the software. It's unbreakable, It's like Tony, who's not here today. It's unbreakable. So just try things. You know, you never know what you're going to find. You like today we learned something hella dope, which I haven't even thought of before because I don't do keynotes. Whenever possible, I do presentations with this. I don't need supplementing words or images or whatever. I just present. I'm the presentation. Ecamm Live has allowed me to eliminate keynote. In the places where they force me to do a keynote, you see what I do. You see my keynote every Friday. I just put 2 pictures in single words because I hate doing keynotes. I think they're useless. Most people have a block. They turn off fear of presentation like fear of heights. And I don't mean the presenter, I mean the listener. Listeners have been trained that presentations are going to suck because 98% of them suck. So I had a friend of mine who runs a company called Empowered Presentations. And they do presentations for like American Express and Nike and all of these other sort of like high-end, highfalutin companies. And helping them set up their computers and stuff like that. And then, you know, basically going places with them, seeing what they do. I learned a lot about doing dope presentations from them, right? Just like eliminating all the slides, high catchy eye candy, if you will, right? Things like that. Let me drag this image here. So this is an example of like how they do slides. This how I make slides. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I literally just watched Michael on Apple TV. They have The Crowded Room, which is based off the same trilogy that Unbreakable is from. So Glass and Unbreakable and Split, that's all part of a trilogy. The Billy Mulligan thing. Yeah, it's really good. So Crowded Room on Apple TV. There you go. So good. What do you think is different? Dude, that doesn't make sense, Ty. I think it came from export to HTML. I mean, sorry, I'm not speaking English. I think it came from PowerPoint. When I first did it, it came from PowerPoint. How about save as? Don't look at export. Go to save as HTML. I'm sorry, I don't have PowerPoint in this machine because I hate doing presentations. There you go. I think it's there, you know. I really think it's there. Dude, the military is when I first learned to hate it. The amount of PowerPoints we did in the military is just obnoxious. You guys, Dan and Tati, I'm going to test this out on a different machine that I know has PowerPoint on it. I think it's there. You know what? Hey, guys, we're doing this the hard way. Watch this. Not Bing, you dummy. What's that thing called? Edge. Let's ask, what do they call her? I don't know. She don't have a name. Let's give her a name. Press Alt 11. Press Control G. What? That don't seem right. Publish your presentations on the web. Here's the answer. There you go. We did it. Oh. Yeah, because then I definitely seen PowerPoints online. And this came all the way back from 07. So I know it's in there. The older versions, there was a button and you could do the save as and then had web pages, one thing. But in the new version, you just save it into the cloud. That's why you don't need save it as HTML, because it's already part of 365 Cloud, which most people have nowadays. But anyway, Yeah, I knew it was a way to do this because I know I've seen it before. I'm not crazy. Publish your presentations on the web. There it is. Is that the same number? 938? Yes. The reason why I opened up Bing is because they have the old chat option right here. And then so it would give you, more information. Oh, so Stevie said yes. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. All you got to do is publish it to the web. Booyaka. I completely remember when I first did it, way back in the day, I did it from PowerPoint. That was before Keynote was even born. And we're talking way back in the day. Like, Keynote came out in 2005. And I know back in college doing PowerPoint, I remember switching to Keynote. I was the only person in my class that switched. And the number one reason why, this is super stupid, the number one reason why I switched, because everybody would pick the same freaking themes over and over again, and it was just boring. So when it was like, oh, where'd you get that from? Why does yours look so good? And are you using PowerPoint? No. But the teacher said we need to use PowerPoint. I'm like, because teachers like to make up rules because that's all they know. And I like to break rules because I know better. I'm a nerd. Teachers are not. Like, our teachers used to tell us you had to write all of your assignments in Word because if you try to use another program, they won't be able to open it. That's because people didn't know from other programs you could save as DOC. So, like, if you saved it as a DOC, when the teacher, not me, but the doc file, and DOCX later, when the teacher opened it in Word for her, it was the same thing. So I always would use, like, open source editors, or I would write all of my crap in Pages and then save it and give it to them as RTF file in DOC, and it would just work. And they would be like, oh, look, you did your paper. And I'm like, I have not used Microsoft Word since first semester. But, now teachers got better training. Back in the day, they didn't give teacher the money or the resources to do these kind of, actually, they still don't. So they just know what they know. And half the time, you can just, the assignments, it's a document, right? Yeah. I was a horrible student. Teachers hated me. I need you to write this paper. It needs to have 3,000 words. Dope. I turned in my paper. It's 2,700 words. Your page is 3,000 words. 300 words short. Cool. Did I cover all the bases? Yes. Did I get all the facts? Yes. Did I do the bibliography? Yes. Did I cover footnotes? Yes. So you just want me to stuff in ands and whatnots and therefores to add the other 300 words because I covered everything you said. 3,000 word arbitration is dumb. It's not about a time limit. It's about the ability to deliver the information. So if you just want me to type more pages, I'll make a back page with a whole bunch of useless words. It's super dumb. Anyway, I love old school academics. They're hilarious. Anyway, thank you, Ed. I'm glad somebody's paying attention. Johnny's not. Right. That's what I say, Johnny. I agree with you. Anyway, gang, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to stop messing around. It was kind of fun. I got to say big ups to Tati for a really dope question that allows us to flex the Ecamm muscle even doper. This is why I like doing this, though, because you guys always ask something. Like Ed said, you ask something that requires a little exploration, and we come out with a cool idea that I don't think most people in the community, don't know you can drag and drop a widget to just make it work. And most people in the community don't know that you could export a presentation to HTML and make it just as good as trying to run it in a screen share. It's there. So, again, outside of the video part, which I'm going to ask the boys to fix it, even though it kind of doesn't need to be there. Let's be honest. I'm going to ask them to fix it anyway. Anyway, we're going to call that a day. You guys rock. And for future reference, and I'll let you know in the Discord or something, Tots, I'll see what happens if I put the movie into PowerPoint as a WebM instead of as an MP4, because in theory, that is already pre-translated, so it might work, but we'll try that in a different situation. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you for being here. We'll see you all again next week. Peace out. A-Town stuff.
Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam is the name of the sham. This is a jam for the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam is the name of the sham. This is a jam for the Ecamm fam. This is a jam for the Ecamm fam. This is a jam for the Ecamm fam. Ecamm fam is the name of the sham.
Wait, stop the music. Hold it, stop the music. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.